2025, I beat 15 games, and we're going to be ranking all of them. If you guys have been here for a while, you might remember in 2024, I beat 31 games. 15 is a lot less than I was aiming for, but, you know, life happens. Things move on. I've already beaten 3 games in 2026, so I'm going to be at like 50 games this year. It'll be great. I figured, let's just do one video, rank them all together. We're going to fly through the bottom 5 just because I'm generally good at choosing games I like, so the ones I like the least are kind of not, they're not like fun bad, they're just and I don't feel like getting gameplay footage. So we're going to go quick to the bottom 5. Let's get started. Let me know in the comments, what are your favorite games of the year, what games did you beat, and how many games do you plan to beat in 2026? Number 15 is Initial D Gaiden, which is a well-known Game Boy game that was just on one of those little emulator handhelds, and it has 4 races, and that's the whole game. And I played it, and it's fine. I don't know. Initial D is like a cool property. I've never been able to watch it, because it is like kind of dated, but I do really want to somehow get into it, because I don't know, I like car culture. Coming in at number 14 is Shooting Gallery on the Sega Master System. I got this game because I realized I had like the blaster or whatever it's called on the Master System. I haven't played many Lycan games. I also have it for the NES, but I don't know, they're fun enough. This is another pretty short, quick little retro game. Yeah, if you have a Sega Master System, get it. It's in like a double pack, I think, or that might be Safari or whatever. I don't know. Lycan games are fine. This is a fine Lycan game. Next up, at number 13, this might be a little bit of a controversial one, DuckTales on Game Boy, and this is where, like I said, most of the games, I'm pretty good at choosing games I like, so just because the game is on the lower part of the list doesn't mean I hate it. I liked it, it was fine, but I don't know, it definitely showed its age in some ways. That being said, I do like the system of like you can kind of go about it in any order, and it controls well, and it's fun, and the bouncing on your little stick is fun. Next up at number 12 is Pokemon Legends ZA. I do have a lot to say about this game, but I think Andy and I are going to be talking about it at some point, so I won't get too in depth, but I'll say here, it was just disappointing, and I expected more from it. Number 11, this is a pretty cool game, Grapple Dog. It's just a little indie platformer where you're a 2D dog with a grappling hook, but the grappling's fun. It was a little awkward, like you can only aim the grappling hook in 4 diagonal directions, or like 8 compass directions, and that is a little limiting as a gameplay thing, like you kind of have to time your jumps right with it. Besides that, it's a very fun game, it's cute, it has a good sense of humor, and the controls all feel good, like you have a ground pound that's very bouncy and feels nice. They come up with good gimmicks throughout the levels, and it doesn't overstay its welcome or anything. Fun little 2D indie platformer. Alright, we're entering the top 10. Let's get into it. Number 10 is Undertale. I like this game. It was fun. It has nice characters. Like, obviously the writing is great in this game. The music is great. It looks nice. Like, it's a good art style. I think I probably had to like be there when this game, not that I was like not born or anything. I wasn't playing Undertale at that time. So I kind of missed like the big hype bubble of it. And returning to it now, not having been into it at all, like I didn't really know anything about it besides Sans existed and Megalovania, and that's all I knew about it. It's fun enough, and I like the writing. The combat system, I don't love. I don't like shoot 'em ups that much. I like them, but I struggle with them. So the fact that was basically, it's like a rhythm game shoot 'em up kind of thing going on in the battles, was stressful. And it did kind of just feel like I was getting lucky. I beat the game once, and, you know, maybe someday I'll go back and do all the different runs, but I kind of, you know, I don't know. I'm not that invested in this game, I guess, like some people got. But it's fun enough, and it's a nice idea, and it is a very good, charming world to be in. And I did enjoy running through the story once. Coming in at number 9 is a game that was brought up in our Materia awards. Go watch that if you haven't. Journey, which is a little, like, 3D platformer indie game on the PS3. I got it on a triple pack. It's pretty cool, little physical thing if you're into collecting. I dabble in collecting. Okay, whatever. But yeah, it's just a very atmospheric, charming 3D platformer that plays with scope, as in it's a very like small game, but it feels huge because each environment is like thought out in how you traverse through it. It's not very long, it's pretty short, but the jumping feels good, the environments are nice, and it's just a cool little experiment from like 15, 20 years ago, whenever it's from, at a time when indie games weren't like in the zeitgeist in the same way. So it's cool to see it doing that all the way back then. Number 8 is another game we've talked about on this channel before, but a while ago. Balatro, which is also, there's gonna be a few roguelikes on here. Each one I kind of just was like, it's based off vibes, what beating it counts as. I think Balatro is I unlocked all the decks, and there's another one coming up that I did a different thing for, but it's kind of positioned so it's like whatever milestone I get like 50-ish hours in, I'll count as a beat. Because, I don't know, I'm not 100%ing these games. I don't really do that. But Balatro's fun. I've always liked poker. It's a fun game. And this plays on poker in an interesting way. I don't know. People have talked about Balatro so much. We've already talked about Balatro on this channel, so I don't have a ton more to say about it, but it is a fun game. I do return to it from time to time, even all these months after beating it, and I still enjoy it every time. It does feel a little unbalanced still. Like, I'm not 100% certain if any strategies are better than just doing flushes, but then again, there are people that get much higher scores on Balatro than me, so clearly I'm missing something. But I don't know, yeah, it's fun, it's clever, and I want to play other games that do that with like card games and stuff, because it's a good idea. Number 7 is the first and only Kirby game I beat this year, Kirby Triple Deluxe. This game is right at the point in my list where like I start really liking these games, because this is higher up on my Kirby list than this appearance would make you think. It's very fun. I honestly might like it more than like Robobot. It's probably top 5 or at least 6 Kirby games for me. It doesn't do anything that shocking for a Kirby game. Like, it's just doing the Kirby stuff. The 3DS gimmicks it does have generally are pretty welcome and fun. Obviously, with the DS and 3DS, there's just so many games that kind of missed the mark on utilizing their gimmicks. But I think Kirby Triple Deluxe has some of the more fun, like, tilt controls and stuff I played on. I'd experienced in a 3DS game. And yeah, besides that, it's pretty much stock average Kirby, but it's very fun, very well made. And yeah, like I said, top 5 or 6 Kirbys for me, probably. Next up, coming in number 6, is another game I talked about in the Materia Awards, which was Bonk 3, which is a super fun platformer on the TurboGrafx 16 PC engine, whatever you want to call it. I have the PC engine specifically, but I played this one on an emulator and not my PC engine, don't tell anybody. Bonk really surprised me with how much I liked it. It almost is Kirby-ish in a way, at least Bonk 3, where it's like, it's more about exploring your options and like finding stuff than it is being like a super challenging platformer. Like I said in the Materia Awards, Bonk's pretty floaty and has like this flipping thing you can do where you can kind of just like skip a bunch of stuff half the time, or it's pretty easy to move around. The bosses all have their own gimmicks and they're all well made, but none of them are like super hard. I didn't really struggle with any of them, which is surprising for a game of this age. Usually some of the bosses do beat me up a bit. And again, these games on the PC engine are just beautiful. I really like how they look. And yeah, I don't know, this game, it shocked me. It's a very fun, explorative platformer, has a great sense of humor. Bonk has very funny, like, power-ups, where he, like, becomes a little bitey gremlin type of dude. I don't know, it's very fun. If you haven't played these games and you like platformers, definitely check them out, because they're worth giving a go. Coming in at number 5 is another game we already talked about, Astrobot. Yeah, talk about fun, playful platformers. This one is like that, but it's newer and in 3D and has a big budget. This game is just kind of perfect in a lot of ways. Like, every second of gameplay is genuinely fun. I was never really frustrated with this game. It's obviously easy as shit, quite frankly. It's easy as shit. But it's another game where it's more about like exploring your options and seeing what's there than it is really about being challenged in like a dexterity kind of way. Astrobot's pickups are super fun. Astrobot controls amazingly. I definitely want to go back and check out the OG Astro's Playroom, because yeah, it's worth seeing all the content this series has to offer. The shoutouts to other Sony games are super fun. Little Big Planet, Loco Roco, those are some of my favorite Sony games of all time, and they both feature pretty prominently, especially, surprisingly, Loco Roco in this game, so that was pretty cool, seeing Sackboy and stuff flying around on a PlayStation controller. Felt like old times again. Shout out Little Big Planet from last year's list. And yeah, if you haven't played this game and you have a PS5, this is definitely a must-play game. Coming in at number 4 is Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma. I played Rune Factory 4 a few years back, and that's the only other Rune Factory game I've played. I definitely want to check out 3. 4 probably ekes out this game a little bit, just because it has a lot more of like kind of the life sim feel going on. Like, it feels like a 3DS cozy game, which is basically what it is. I played the Switch version, but this game feels much more like a console experience, and in some ways that's cool. Like, the movement options you get in this game are really fun. It genuinely feels fun to traverse the world. And I think there's a good mix of like combat options in this game. Everyone's gonna find something they like. They did do a cool change with the farming mechanics, because in this game it almost starts feeling like a city builder more than like a Harvest Moon game, where I know those games like can kind of get into that a little bit sometimes, but like you're seeing like a tracking of like your profits for the city versus expenses and stuff. Like I almost like was like, this is City Skylines at some points, and it does kind of encourage you to go back and optimize your farms in ways that different Rune Factory and like Harvest Moon type games don't, at least not in my head. And yeah, over time, I don't know, maybe this game will overtake Rune Factory 4 for my favorite Rune Factory game. Maybe Rune Factory 3 is better than both of them. Who knows? I had a very fun time with this game, and it has proven to me for the second time that these games just have the perfect like gameplay loop for me of they have those RPG elements, but also the cozy game elements, and it's nice to be able to switch between them. I will say one thing that's a little anticlimactic is that the way these games are timed and like how things progress, obviously there's like relationships in this game, which is 100% of why I play it. No, I don't really care that much, which is what this is kind of about. The marriages are timed to be like post-game content, and I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just the nature of how I play games, where I'm tracking them and like trying to experience a bunch of stuff. I'm not gonna play for an extra 15 hours after I already beat the game to like go on a couple of dates with a video game character. It's not worth it to me. Yeah, no, I'm pretty cool, right? So yeah, it's a little bit of a shame, I guess, because that is kind of like a part of the game, and you can literally like have a kid, which I don't know if it's like in Fire Emblem where that game did something special where you can send all your kids to war. That's awesome. But yeah, I don't know if this one does that, if it's just like a slice of life thing. And in that case, I don't even really care. I don't know, maybe your kid can work on the farm, and that's what it's really all about. Coming in at number 3 on my list is River City Ransom, another game that I talked about in the Materia Awards. But yeah, I don't know, I like beat 'em ups, and this game is pretty much everything I like in a beat 'em up. I'd say the first River City Girls maybe ekes this one out as my favorite, but this one is top 2, top 3 for sure. I really like its RPG elements. It looks great for an NES game, and it in a lot of ways is just very ahead of its time for an NES game. It's short and sweet enough that you can genuinely like beat it in one sitting. Like this is one of those NES games that doesn't really have save states. It might have some sort of password system, but it's like a paragraph of like jargon that I'm not going to remember. So I did beat it all in one sitting, I'm pretty sure. And that's the only time I've really done that with an NES game that didn't have save states like Kirby. So that's cool. And yeah, it's very playable. You just sit down, you play it, you get into it, and after enough times you beat it. And that's how I did it with this game. And, you know, felt like I was right back in the 80s or 90s or whatever. Very cool game. Number 2 is a game we've talked about so much on this channel, which is Slay the Spire. This is the other roguelike where I said I used a different metric, because I did literally just use like completing a run, because for some reason in this game it took me like 60 hours. I don't know if I suck, but we're all trying to figure that out about ourselves, aren't we? I don't know if I suck or what, but yeah, it took me forever to actually just like get to the end of a run in this game, but it's very fun. I'm always a big poison guy in these types of games. I just like to see the numbers go up and like stack those. So that's usually the strategy I opt for. If you haven't played it and you like roguelikes and you like card builders, card deck builders, games with deck building in them, this game, strong recommendation. One of the best games ever, probably, I guess. Yeah, that's not an overstatement. Let's get into number 1. My favorite game from this year is also a game I talked about in the Materia Awards, which is Road 96, which is another roguelike that is actually story-based, so me beating this game is me getting to the end of the story. Like I said in that video, it can be a little on the nose with its messaging of like there's a mean red guy and a nice blue lady. The way the characters are written and everything, like it's enough of a backdrop you can kind of just project whatever onto it, and then the characters are written well and your actions matter. And it's like it's a very smart idea, I feel like, to do like a choose your own adventure roguelike, because those things, when you think about it, do line up pretty well, just like getting all these random options that affect outcomes and stuff. And yeah, I don't know, if you are generally avoidant of like text heavy, this has voice acting, it's not text based, it has cutscenes, but a lot of, you know, dialogue going on in this game. If you're kind of avoidant of those types of games, I think this is a great way to give it a chance, and it worked with me. And yeah, I want to play more games like it. It's very fun. Check it out. And yeah, thank you for watching. Let me know what your favorite games are from this year. What did you play? And goodbye.